Thanks for talking to Singapore, Henry. Congratulations on the movie.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be talking to Singapore.
You've done this twice now. What do you think you've learned about yourself after 2 times around of playing the Man of Steel?
That's a very good question. What have I learned about myself? I would say I've learned about how much I genuinely care about this character. There's something about this character which I have now come to love and be very protective over. While I would never aspire to actually being Superman because he's extraordinary, and I'm not just talking about his powers. Forget the powers, just the personality and the character of the man himself is extraordinary. I feel an affiliation with, and I respect enormously. And so I've become quite protective of him.
Yeah, as alien as he is there anything, because in Man of Steel there were a lot of vulnerabilities that was nice to see from a man who is superhuman. Is there any aspect of him that you felt like you connected with the most, that resonated with you the most? Any characteristic of him?
There's a few characteristics. There's one which I've said before, and that is the fact that he always tries to do right. It's his instinct to do right, and I like to think that that's me as well. I know I have my moments where perhaps I need to check myself and say, no, do the right thing, don't do that thing which you kind of want to do the right thing. But as an aside to that, in Man of Steel, we see a man who is alone and set alone and experiencing everything by himself, and that's a difficult thing to experience. And I suppose in the world of being an actor, you do feel quite exposed, and there's moments of hiding and wanting to have your privacy and yet be yourself at the same time. And that's a juxtaposition which he faces also.
So there's never a time when Henry Cavill's a bit of a naughty boy then?
You may be putting words into my mouth. I would say that there may be, there may not be.
We'll leave it as that.
Yeah.
You know, DC fans are amongst the most passionate of fans. They eat, they breathe, they sleep the comic books.
Absolutely.
Is there any time that you've sort of snuck into those fan forums or clubs and sort of sneaked a peek at what they were saying about your Superman?
I do it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you go under a pseudonym or?
No. I never comment because commenting is adding bias to the argument.
You're right, and inviting trolling. Which
exactly. I mean, trolling happens.
Yeah.
But
it's a given, huh?
I wonder if that'll become a meme or something. Trolling happens.
We'll make that a meme.
Yeah. I enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching okay, to simplify this. The most wonderful thing about superheroes, and especially in the DC universe, is that each superhero represents a personality trait. And each group of fans tend to have that same personality trait. And so when you go to different fan pages, which are tailored towards one superhero, you start to see a similarity in personality traits. And then when you go onto a group forum, where there are different fans of all types, all commenting on these forums, you can start to pick out, and I like the game of picking out who is being either, it's obvious who the diehards are, but when you start to see people being fair and saying, well, hold on a second, I hear what you say about Superman, but what about this? Is that just a Superman fan being a typical Superman fan and trying to be fair? Or is that a Batman fan having a bit of fairness to him as well and going, well, okay, I know, I love Batman, but let's try and be fair about Superman here. And I love doing that. Watching that whole thing play out is a lot of fun.
Well, you're very dedicated to the role. That's amazing. What was it working? What surprised you the most about working with Ben Affleck? And what was your favorite scene with him out of the entire process?
Ben's a very large man.
Yes,
that surprised me the most.
Isn't he?
I was
You're
surprised.
a very large man.
Thank you very much.
In a good way. In a good way.
Thank you very much as well.
Coming out all wrong.
I was going to say, sort of steady on. I am very happy that you think I'm a big man. It surprised me that Ben's physical size. I knew he was tall, but he just has a presence to him, which surprised me. And as far as a favorite scene goes, it's a tricky one. Everything was so split up. Like all the big battle scenes were all spread out over a 6-month shoot. And yet, as a final piece, those are probably my favorites. because that's actually when we really meet, is when there's big battles going on. I would say my favorite stuff which happened, which I saw in the final piece as opposed to shoot itself, they all belonged in the third act.
So that's the one we're all gonna have our eyes on.
Yes.
Well, fly into Singapore soon.
Will do.
Cape and all, yeah?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.